What's up YouTube, Gemini Johnny back again with another compilation of some of the wildest TikTok conspiracy theories I can find. If you like these conspiracy reaction videos, you're gonna love my video that I have coming out this Sunday, Conspiracy Theories 101, where we take a deep dive into the history of the term, we look at some actual conspiracies that were confirmed to have happened, and I share some of my best tips for how to be a more responsible consumer of these conspiracy theories. So keep an eye out for that, dropping that on Sunday, and I hope to see you all there. Alright, without further ado, let's jump right in.
Okay, can I share this? I don't want to be blamed.
I doubt I could stop you.
I don't want to be blamed if you cannot get to sleep tonight.
No, I'll be okay.
Okay, all right. So, this dark energy in the future will render the universe so large, having accelerated so significantly that all the galaxies of the night sky will have accelerated beyond our horizon.
What?
And all the galaxies are the source of our knowledge of cosmology, of the Big Bang. Everything we know about the history of the universe comes to us from these galaxies. If they accelerate beyond our horizon, the next generation of cosmic explorers will only have the stars of the Milky Way to think about. And so there would have been an entire chapter of the universe ripped from their view. And they will be trying to contemplate an understanding of the universe without a significant part of what its past was. And so I lose sleep wondering, today, was there some previous chapter ripped from the universe itself? And here we are. And here we are, you know, touching the elephant, not knowing that, in fact, there's an elephant standing there. Or maybe there's the shadow of the elephant and the elephant has been moved. We don't know what we don't know. And this leaves me awake at night. I lose sleep over that.
Yeah, of course. There could have been innumerous civilizations throughout the galaxy before us. The galaxy was here before humanity. The galaxy will remain once humanity is gone. The galaxy, the universe. The universe was here before humanity. The universe will remain once humanity is no longer. Yeah, there could be future civilizations that look at the remnants of what we left behind in this Milky Way galaxy. I guess that's possible. I don't know why you would lose sleep over that, because there's nothing you can do about it. And I know Tyson is like, a lot of people think he's a shill, and you know, to me, it seems like he wants to be an educator while also having a better than you for knowing the things I'm teaching you attitude about it. That's why I don't like him. Regardless of if he's a shill or paid by the government or whatever, I prefer the smart people who can take those really intricate, dense concepts and break it down into terms and nomenclature that anyone, for the most part, can understand. Neil deGrasse Tyson just gives me a sense of superiority whenever he's trying to teach me something, and that's why I don't like him. It just seems like, well, I know this, and I'm better than you, and like, let me try to sound as smart as I can while trying to break this concept down. Bill Nye doesn't do that shit. Bill Nye tries to make it as simple as possible and break it down so that a third grader can understand. I feel like that's what being a good teacher is, not proving how smart you are all the time.
This scientist said they had discovered the Garden of Eden and that they couldn't believe their eyes when they saw what was in there. Check this out.
Dude, this is awesome, guys. I've never seen it this clear. Yeah, it was super murky. Dude, look how deep that is. It's like 20 feet deep, but it looks so shallow. The powerful. That is wild. That's crazy. The old powerful. Look how crystalline it is.
Why is there a light pole?
Oh my god. Wow, dude. Look at the crystals on it. Dang. I don't know what type of crystal it is.
Go to the link in bio for the full video.
Pretty crazy that the Garden of Eden had electric poles. It's pretty tight. They made the Garden of Eden sound crappy, but nobody said they had electricity back then. Pretty sure the Bible also says that the Garden of Evil is guarded by angels or something. I could be wrong on that, but it seems like that's what it says, and that no man can enter because the angels or cherubs or something guard its gates. I mean, that was cool. It was a cool video. I hate it when they take something cool and then be like, oh, it's the Garden of Eden. No, it's not. It was just a cool freaking cave they found with like a bunch of stuff under, or, you know, really crystal clear water. It was cool. But you make me not like that because try to convince me that it's the Garden of Eden. I mean, I don't know. I know these freaking accounts are just looking for content and trying to get clicks. I get it. And we talk about that in my Conspiracy Theories 101 video. Yeah, wasn't the whole story like humanity was kicked out of the Garden of Eden because of Adam and Eve's sins? Shouldn't have ate the fruit. Fun fact, the Bible never says anything about an apple. I feel like that's how it's represented in stories and stuff. At least when I was a kid, it was always represented as the fruit, the forbidden fruit was an apple. But I'm pretty sure it just calls it the forbidden fruit. I don't think it ever calls it an apple. I personally think it was the durian was the forbidden fruit, but, you know, I'm no theologian.
I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Did y'all ever see this photo that NASA put out of Earth in 2015? Now look a little more closely. Now, before some of you tell me that I'm making this up, I got this directly from NASA's website, and it's still there. I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
God spells sex. Oh, they actually do. S-E-X. The Lion King animators made this image of Earth. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to feel about NASA. They are a government agency. I tend to not trust government agencies. But I also think all the space stuff is silly. Like, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe they've said that all the pictures of Earth are actually composites of like hundreds or thousands of pictures. And that there's only like one actual picture of Earth, and that was from the satellite we sent shooting out into one direction a long time. Orsini? Was it Orsini? What's that satellite called? The Sputnik? What was it? No, I just looked it up to be sure because I couldn't remember. But there's only ever been one actual photo of the entire Earth, and that was from the 1968 photograph shot on the first manned orbital mission to the moon by an Apollo 8 astronaut. Allegedly. Was the first color photograph of our planet shot by a human no longer on it himself. Oh, and the blue marble, that was the one I was thinking of. And that was from Apollo 17. And other images, other than that, images of Earth were created using digital stitching techniques, but for 43 years until Deep Space Climate Observatory. It was actually Al Gore who had this idea about sending out, it used to be known as, it was originally known as Triana, then they changed its name to Gorasat, or Goresat. Lame. He wanted that shit named after him. Or by its current name, Discover, spelt D-S-C-O-V-R. It stands for Deep Space Climate Observatory. And apparently Al Gore had a dream about this that would send basically live photos back to Earth multiple times a day, and that would be then uploaded online every 12 to 36 hours. And the reason Al Gore wanted to do this was to help bring a sense of unity to Earth, to realize we were all on this planet together, and all the dumb things we decide to separate ourselves over are just that. They're really dumb. And the absolute second there is a threat from an other planetary force, I promise you all that shit is gone. Side note, it kind of sucks that Al Gore has been so made fun of and I don't know, I guess not vilified, but he's kind of looked at as a joke. And he is a dork. Don't get me wrong. He's a big dork. But the man's just trying to save the planet, he's been talking about climate change since the 90s. I don't know. It just sucks. I wish people like that weren't so made such a mockery of, because he was right. Everybody made fun of him back in the 90s, in the early 2000s. And the dude was right. So Al Gore, if you're watching this, shout out to you, man. But that is kind of cool. He had a dream about a satellite that would send pictures of the Earth back to the Earth. And then they made that happen. That's pretty tight. Gotta give credit where credit is due. And whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. We're not deciding that here today. We're also not figuring it out, so.
This is why understanding you don't exist and nothing is real makes you God. Time is not real. Let's break down the mental and physical aspects of it. Time, past, present, and future, they are all properties of consciousness. With the past being recollection, the future being anticipation, and now being the present moment. Time is the movement of your thoughts. There's no such thing as a universal clock. This scene in the movie Interstellar shows us how time dilation works. They landed on a planet where the gravitational pull was so strong that every hour they spent there was equivalent to 7 years on Earth. These are photons, this is light. The holographic matrix is inside a light. Your eyes absorb it, and the mind projects the world. If light could be a person, any clock you looked at would never move. Light does not experience time. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to wake you up. Reality is an illusion. This shit is all a dream. Using the interpretation of quantum physics, all matter in the universe is made of atoms. These atoms are made of 99.9999999% empty space. So with that being a fact, you have to question why reality feels so solid. This is because of the basic law of electrostatics. It's this repulsive magnetic force that makes reality feel real and stops your body from collapsing in on itself. And the atoms are made of energy that behave as particles and waves, meaning that particle me is here now, but the wave version of me doesn't exist as a localized point in space and time. The particles and energy that make up my body exist everywhere in a state of infinite potential. The dust I was before humans and Earth existed, me right now and every other stage of my life, and the pure energy I'm going to turn back into. It exists across the universe as possibility until I open my eyes and turn it into this observable situation, this moment. Let's get on some Matrix shit. This is video game coding. This is information. This is a bunch of shit you don't understand. That's reality, a bunch of energy, information, and potential. Shit we can't understand. We can still play the game because even though this is the game, this is what we see, understand, and operate in. You are the entire universe, but at the same time, the entire universe creates your mind. And it's your mind that you view the universe through. And because you're viewing it through your mind and not as it actually is, you're dreaming. This is an illusion, right? This is the true reality. Emptiness. Your mind creates space and time. Reality is energy, information, possibility, potential. It's not a solid physical thing. Everything, all of us are connected. Everything is one big giant consciousness, an infinite mind. I'm this eyeball, you're that eyeball. We're all just little pieces of it. But the entirety of it is you. You just don't know that. None of the words I'm using to talk to you right now actually mean anything. These are random vibrations that you're assigning concepts and labels to understand me. What I'm trying to say is our existence is a trip. And your faith in God. It doesn't have to be rooted in mythology, and you don't have to have blind faith in some deity outside. Through understanding science and psychology, you can dismantle your entire perception of reality and see what's left there when you do that. You are pure consciousness. You are everything in the form of you. Once you do that, you can finally detach from life and detach from yourself. That's the recipe. Once you transcend, all of the power is yours. I'm going to show you how to use it.
Ooh, those are some pretty heavy concepts that I don't think we're going to be able to fully grasp right now. But that being said, I think there's a lot to that. I really do. I think humans figuring out how to recreate reality with code, I think it's just a repeat process that we've been going through for millennia as a species. I shouldn't say I think. I don't know, obviously, but I do lean towards that. And then he talks about the empty space and atoms, but what goes beyond an atom? What makes up an atom? I've always believed that God or the universe or whatever your beliefs are, it's a part of all of us. I think the point of life is that the creator or God or the universe or whatever you want to call it, it's all interchangeable to me, simply wanted to experience the human existence and understand emotions and feelings and what the human existence consists of, and therefore created this reality for us, for itself rather, to live out all of human experience. And that's what we are. We're just that thing living out this lived human experience. And each one of us is experiencing a different form of that. I've said probably 100 times on this channel, I think all these beliefs and ways of thinking and understanding of the world, I think they're all connected. I really do. I think it's all one big game, so to speak. Not game as in like you got to play it, but like it's a game for the universe or the creator or the whoever, the God, the whatever made this existence happen. So in that sense, that would mean that reincarnation is real because we are the same thing living out each lived experience. And we're just, our consciousness is just a little piece of that. And I know it's deep, but go back and rewatch that one because he's saying a lot of stuff. It was a 3-minute video, and I know there was a lot of stuff he said in there that it's kind of hard to comprehend. But go back and watch that part again because I think that guy might be onto something. But all that being said, I do believe that our purpose on this planet is to reach that enlightened stage. I think a lot of us forget that, myself included, because that's not what I'm chasing constantly, even though I think it's probably what we should be. I think we should be chasing spirituality and understanding of what this existence is. I think that's what the purpose of being here is. But a lot of people have forgotten that over the years, and we're now in this place where so many people have forgotten that it's lost the importance. Like we forgot that, oh, that's why we're supposed to be here, to achieve spirituality, to achieve nirvana, enlightenment, as opposed to we're here to achieve how much money can we make? How many things can we buy in this lifetime? You got 70 years, make the best of it. No, I don't think that's what we're here for. I don't think we're supposed to be buying mansions and yachts, and like, I don't think that stuff matters. It's fun, it's great. If you can do all that, fantastic. I want to do it someday, but I don't think that's our purpose. All right, enough spirituality shit.
For fear that you'll lose yourself in their expectations of you.
Well, I've felt that way for a long time. And then I see my big face on that movie screen with no makeup on and my natural hair color, and I'm like, oh, I just gave it away. I mean, you know, I have always liked shapeshift.
Right.
This was a fantastic example how ridiculous a lot of these things are. Like, I don't know. Me personally, I could care less about Lady Gaga saying she likes to shapeshift into different roles, because it just sounds like something an actor would say. I care a lot more about her connections to Maria Abramovich. I mean, I know people are talking about it, but it does seem a little weird that this like admitted Satanist is close with all these, you know, artists and celebrities, and they have, you know, what is it, soul cooking events and stuff. Okay, to be fair, she has been quoted as saying she's an artist, not a Satanist. But, you know, hey, if I were to use, if I were an artist and did lots of paintings and sculptures and all that kind of stuff, and most of my art featured Jesus prominently, you'd probably assume I was a Christian. Or if I had lots of Buddha artwork, you'd probably assume I'm a Buddhist. So what does it say when someone does all that Satan artwork and stuff? I don't know, you know, just saying. Here, let's see what she has to say about it.
You know, I just want to share with you one really funny opinion. But there is in Lapland, there is a group of the shamans there who do something called collective dreaming. They will go together in seclusion and do the rituals with, you know, eating very little food and being in a solitude for a long time. And they will go and dream the dreams. And the dream have to be collective same dream. So coming out of this dream, the shaman told me that actually the best thing happened in this planet right now is the Trump to be the president. I said, how is this possible? Is the best thing to happen? He said, yes, because he's so irrational, he's so crazy. That's actually create that awakening that we finally wake up. Because before there will be another guy and everything was similar, but he's so different than anything else. So he's the magician who waking us up. What do you think about that? That kind of theory.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, you know, regardless, obviously, if you've been on this channel a while, you know, I can't stand that dude, but I will say, I was just thinking about this the other day, actually. Before him, and we had Obama for 8 years. Before that, we had W for 8 years. Before that, we had Clinton for 8 years, then HW for, HW, right? And it kind of seemed like things, you know, through all of them were just kind of trucking along, and the system was the system. It was keeping the poor people down. It was making the rich people rich. The system was working exactly as it was intended to. And then Trump came along. And my belief was he was acting out of his own self-interest. Ooh, this isn't really my story to tell. Okay, it's just something I heard. I don't know. I'm not going to mention any names. I won't do any of that. But I met someone one time through a friend of a friend of a friend, that type of thing, you know, and take it with a grain of salt. This person could have been lying. I don't know. But they allegedly, according to them, worked as an assistant for the agency that used to represent Donald Trump. Back in 2018, 2017, that's where this person was working. And they told me, and again, this is just a person to person. This person hasn't went to the public with this. This person hasn't done anything to try to gain some notoriety from this story. I've been very careful about not giving any hints about who this person was. But to be honest, I couldn't even tell you their name. I met them kind of in passing type of thing. But we somehow got to talking, and they were talking about the time that Trump had a sit-down meeting with his agency and all the bigwigs of the agency. And they talked about how he could take his failing career as a personality. You remember The Apprentice? You're fired. All that shit. They wanted to take his failing business personality and up his namesake. And they thought, what if we ran for president? Obviously, we'll never win, but it'll bring lots of headlines. It would, you know, make Trump a household name through the election cycle. And that's what they decided to do. I know I'm leaving out some details, and I'm doing that on purpose. But this person allegedly overheard that conversation as they were sitting at their desk next to the open door boardroom in the agency that day. So I do truly believe that the only reason he ran was to up his, I don't know, celebrity profile. And then he kept winning and kept winning. And then he became the president. I think, in my opinion, I think he hated that shit. I don't think he wants to be president again. I think he realizes he has to. He has to run at least. Or he's going to lose all of his constituents and fans because that's who's paying his bills and his legal fees. And yeah, I don't know. It's just wild that we have a president that ran because he wanted to be more famous. And if you're, I know there's some Trump followers, Trump supporters that subscribe to my channel. Whatever. I do wonder, I try to stay out of politics. I really do, because the truth of the matter is I'm not doing anything to affect policy. I'm not working in politics. I'm not even a political voice like on social media or anything like that. And I don't want to be, truthfully. I have no interest in that because there's no winning that game. There's no winning in being a political personality. Like, the best thing you do is you become a news anchor on something someday, or you have a podcast, but like, it just, God, it sounds so shitty. I would never want to be a part of that. Getting back to my point, it is interesting how the world, and America at least, was very complacent with our government, even though, we've had our freedoms stripped away. Google the Patriot Act. Shout out Edward Snowden. Shout out all the government whistleblowers that have proven that the U.S. government does illegal things against their citizens. Those are true American heroes. Forget war heroes that murdered and slaughtered villagers in other parts of the world. Forget all that. People who ruin their lives by going against the U.S. government publicly and proving to the world with evidence for what this entity of power is doing, those are true American heroes. But now back to my point. We were all complacent. Obama, yes we can, hope and change. And then nothing changed. There was no hope. And then Trump came into office. Now that's all anyone seems to talk about is politics. So, I don't like Maria Abramovich, but she could be onto something there. Because like him or hate him, he did make the world talk about politics again. It wasn't just complacency and like, oh, that's the way it is. It was very much like, well, why is it the way it is? Why can't we change it? And so, she could be onto something. I don't know. Whether that was good or bad, it seems like it was bad to have him in office. To me, it seems like it was bad for the legacy of American democracy to have someone like that in office. But I do remember thinking when he was in office, well, hey, there's one positive outcome about this. It's that people give a shit. People care about what's going on in politics, what kind of power they're losing, what kind of freedoms we're losing. So although I've kind of fallen away from really being tapped into politics like that, like, I think overall people care more about politics and the future of the country. And I think people realize now that the person you have in office does matter. Whether they can actually affect any kind of change or not is a different story. And, they could just be a figurehead for a larger cabal of something. Is possible, I guess. But it is interesting that everybody cares now. So hate him or love him, that's a good outcome. That being said, this year's gonna suck. God, I do not want to deal with election shit this year. Oh my God, I'm already dreading it. I've been dreading it for the last 6 months. We got these two old farts. I'm gonna run off again. It's just, you ever see somebody make a really good point and then you're like, damn it, why did you have to make that point? Ben Shapiro the other day said that if, I think it was Ben Shapiro, I don't know. If we're going to raise the retirement age, why don't we cap the age of politicians as well at 65? I'm with it. Hey, I don't think anybody should be in politics or affecting policy at all if they're not going to be around to see the results of those policies. I'm sorry, but if you're going to be, like, go retire. I'm tired of geriatrics running this country. It's clearly not going well. Why don't we get somebody young who their policies and the things that they put into effect during their presidency they're going to see the repercussions of those. Am I the only one who is fixed on the symbolism behind this line? I've seen this. What is this?
Dad, if we get back to the city, can you take me to see the coffee shop and friends?
That's real. I mean, it's just a set.
I'm not really sure what they're getting at with the symbolism behind that line. Dad, can we go see the coffee shop and friends? It's not real. It's just a set. Rosie's looking to sky when she said this line. Rosie had a hard time separating reality versus entertainment. Then later she wears a NASA t-shirt. NASA moon landing was a set. So, yeah, I think that's that movie. Yeah, I did see this. This is the one where the Teslas keep crashing into each other and stuff. With what's his name is the dad? Kevin. Is it Kevin Bacon? I forget. This is that one that just came out. It was a Netflix movie with Julia Roberts, I believe. A bunch of people in the comments are like, I love when people don't like use common sense. It's because a bunch of people in the comments are like, oh, weird that they used Friends for this when Matthew Perry had just died right before this movie came out. It's like, do you understand how movie making works? Like, do you have any clue? Because it's not like they made the movie last week. They were like, oh, Matthew Perry died. Let's go make a movie. Like, let's put a bunch of symbolism and talk about Friends. Like by the time that movie was out, it had been filmed at least a year ago. Usually. Maybe, sometimes they might rush the post-production process, but for the most part, it takes at least a year for a movie to get made after it's filmed. And then you have to get through clearances and release dates and legal and all that crap. So it's not like they were just like, oh, Matthew Perry's dead. But that being said, the movie was produced by the Obamas. I thought that was weird from the first second I saw that. Like, why are the Obamas getting into movie producing? Not only movie producing, but movie producing for a Netflix film that's not going to go worldwide and have like ticket sales and like, what is the reason? How much do they get paid to sell the movie rights to Netflix? I would be very curious. And it might be out there. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, Leave the World Behind. That's what it was called. Oh, it was Ethan Hawke, not Kevin Bacon. My bad. And he's been dropping some gems. He's been doing like, I don't know, conferences and stuff and speaking, and maybe it's just press for that movie or something. But man, every time I see him pop up on my social media, he is just giving some like really cool advice about whether it's acting or just life or whatever. I like that guy. I would love to hear him I would love to just sit down and talk with him for a while. Seems like a cool dude. So the Obamas did start a production company called Higher Ground Productions in 2018, and they've produced projects like Michael Keaton's Worth and Kevin Hart's Fatherhood. And this was, yeah. It was, that's cool. I didn't realize it was that same person that made Mr. Robot. I loved Mr. Robot. That was such a good show. He said, because President Obama is such a movie lover, he really focused his notes to cinematically portray what was in the book in a really interesting way. Oh, wait. Okay. Another thing I didn't realize, the movie Leave the World Behind, is that what it's called, right? Yeah, Leave the World Behind. It was based on a book. How are you going to say Obama came in to give us warnings and tell us what's really going to happen? He's producing this movie about the end of times. Like, no, the writer of the book did all that. Obama came in. It's one of those instances. You just used a little bit of critical thinking. This wouldn't be some big conspiracy. You would know, oh, it's based on a book. Obama didn't have anything to do with the story. But allegedly, the Sam Ishmael, I think is how you say his name, said that Obama really came on a couple of months before we started shooting, so the script had basically been written and done. He obviously gave notes on the script, but the bones of the story and the sequences were already written. It's not like Obama came in and was like, now listen, we're going to warn the American people that the Teslas are coming to murder your children. Like, no, you dumbass. Oh my God. Like, get out of here, dude. God, all right, I'm done with this. I spent enough time on that. Ooh, proof that Elvis was a reptilian.
Everything seems pretty normal up until this point. You'll see some pictures here in a moment, but then about here, things get a little strange. So now we're going to go through a series of pictures where you see the little girl have a range of emotions, and then right about here, she sees something wrong as he pulls away. What does she see? Well, we're all about to see it for ourselves as he stands up and looks at the camera right here. What's weird is somehow the guy holding the microphone misses this part, but here very soon he's going to notice something that is amiss. I think that'll be right about here. And he looks a little... I think that'll be right about here. And he looks a little disturbed. After seeing this, he quickly walks away, and then acts like nothing ever happened. Look at his face. Yikes. You also see a couple of Elvis's men seeing everything as it happens. One of them steps in front of the camera. The other man goes directly for the eye that was just melting. Here we go again, in real time. See Elvis's guy step in front of the camera right here. Then the other guy goes right for the eye.
You know, there's an old saying. My dad used to tell me this all the time. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. And anymore, I don't know if that even works. I think you need to believe none of what you hear and none of what you see. First of all, that was horrid video quality. So who knows? Second of all, Elvis was a notorious drug user. Him having a slumped eye doesn't really surprise me that much. I have a slumped eye sometimes, and I'm not even a drug user. I truly wish there were more people that cared less about the sensationalism and the clicks and the views and all that. Like, I really, really wish more people cared about the truth. And I know people like you out there do. I know you guys do. And I'm so happy you guys are along for the ride with me. But man, some of these people, I swear they do it on purpose. Like I really, really think that they know what they're doing. They know that a lot of conspiracy theorists will ignore the facts and are looking for validation in their beliefs. So they present you something and say, here, I'm validating your beliefs. And all the conspiracy theorists are like, see, I told you. When in actuality, if they did 5 seconds of research and critical thinking and just looked at it with some nuance, they would realize that like, oh, this is a video from 60 years ago. It was shot in black and white in like 180p or something, and like his eyes slumping a little bit because of his heavy drug use that's documented, might look a little weird on that camera. Somebody in the comments said poor Elvis was having a stroke and immediately is labeled as a lizard. Man, it's not funny that he was having a stroke, but it is funny that he looked like he was having a stroke. That lizard knew how to sing. Fun fact, I was in an Elvis musical one time. At the time, it was one of the best-selling shows in that dinner theater. We sold out every night, 4 or 5 nights a week. 4 nights a week, sometimes with a couple matinees. That's what I meant. Let's just, you know what? Let's watch this again, and let's look at other people's faces. Let's see if other people's faces look messed up.
Point.
Look, her face kind of
You'll
looks...
see some pictures here in a moment, but then about here.
Don't her face look kind of messed up? This is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter who... Are they all reptilians then? Because her face is all slumped too. She's like, look at her face, bro. Look at this girl's face, bro. So is she a reptilian too? Is that what you want to tell me? At least there are people in the comments calling this, you know, it'd be a distortion of camera. You guys make something out of anything. Oh yeah, they did say that in the Men in Black, that Elvis was an alien and he just went back home. He never died. He just went back home. Yeah, I do remember that. Somebody said, it's got to be true. Bigfoot told me while he rode by on his unicorn. It is funny, a bunch of people are calling that a TV in the back. That's very clearly a chalkboard. People are like, why is there a flat screen back there? That doesn't make any sense. That's a good thought. I mean, hey, if we're getting conspiratorial, why don't we say that, you know, that's not even an Elvis. That's an Elvis lookalike, or that's a Elvis impersonator. He's got a mask on and his mask was melting or something. Maybe his latex prosthetics, you know, were starting to droop off his face, and they were like, oh, and the real Elvis is back there in a bender, so we got to get this guy fixed up. There's a flat screen in the 1960s.
Young Will Smith knew what was going on.
Do you believe in government conspiracies?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I'm serious.
No, definitely. No, oh my God.
I know I heard you did. Are you serious now?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm very serious. You can't tell,
You can't tell,
you?
no.
Can't tell.
I read that you felt that the government was deliberately spraying cold germs in subways, was deliberately trying to make people ill with the AIDS virus. This is pretty serious stuff. Do you really feel that?
Well, that's a good question. Well, I'm with Barbara Walters now. Oh, that's a serious one. Okay, so I got to now, because people are going to chase me after this.
Oh, just like they chased Martin Lawrence?
People are going to chase me. I believe that it is quite highly possible that the AIDS virus is a result of genetic warfare testing.
By American agents?
Absolutely.
Will.
How do y'all feel about Will Smith? I'm very curious about this one, actually, because Will Smith is a very interesting character to me. He was one of my favorite actors growing up. He was a large reason why I wanted to go into filmmaking and being an entertainer at all. The Pursuit of Happiness, one of my favorite films of all time. 7 Pounds, incredible work. What else? Obviously, the classics, Wild Wild West. I remember seeing that in theaters as a kid. Men in Black, saw that in theaters as a kid. You know, I grew up with this dude. I do not understand how Jada has him wrapped up the way she does. She treats him so she does not treat that man as a man she respects. And from what we see, again, who knows what goes on behind closed doors and all that. But publicly, she's talking about how much she loved Tupac. She's talking about that other dude that she gets to sleep with all the time. I just don't understand it. I don't quite get it. And I love Will Smith, man. I used to like Jada. I used to, you know, Matrix. Come on. Dang. Queen Cleopatra has a 1.2 on IMDb. It's got oh my God. He was a narrator and producer on it. Have any of you seen this Netflix documentary, Queen Cleopatra? It's apparently really bad. I've never seen a rating this low on IMDb. 94% of the 84,000 ratings were a 1 star. How is something that bad? It got 79,000 1-star reviews. It got 1.4 thousand 2-star reviews and only 1.1 thousand 10-star reviews. And 3 through 9 is maybe 1,000. Yeah, maybe 2,000 total. Holy sh! The motivation for the producer was to emphasize the high points of black history, hence the casting choice. The fact is that Cleopatra and her ancestors in the Ptolemaic dynasty were of Greek heritage. Alexander the Great invaded Egypt in 325 BCE, with Ptolemy I beginning his rule in 305 BCE. Maybe that's what everybody had a problem with, was that the characters were black? It's really stupid. Riddled with historic errors and incorrect timelines. It is hard to take this documentary seriously when there are errors in just about every scene. Ancient Egypt existed for 3.5 millennia in the Ptolemaic period of Greek control, and its involvement in Roman policies, especially in the Roman Civil War, is a very specific period. Alright, so it sucks. Dang, that's crazy. How do you do something that bad? Alright, let's just get into something else. Yeah, this is definitely one of those conspiracies that I just cannot get behind. This whole like humiliation ritual thing. I was a theater kid in high school. We would sometimes run around and like throw dresses on because it's funny. It is funny to be like a person who doesn't wear dresses normally, and then all of a sudden you show up in a dress. Everybody's like, "Whoa, why are you in a dress?" Ha ha ha. Like, it can be comedic effect. Now, that, I mean, you know. Also, I don't think Tom Holland was humiliated. He killed that dance routine or lip syncing routine or whatever you want to call it. And he did really good and everybody was really impressed. So I'm not sure that that was a humiliation ritual, considering everybody was like, dang, that was kind of cool. If the Illuminati is real, do you think you just have to wear a dress to get into it? If you told me right now all I needed to do to achieve my wildest dreams and fantasies was wear a dress in public, I would wear a dress. I would go to Goodwill right now and get a dress and wear it in public, to never have to worry about bills again, to never have to wonder how I'm going to pay rent next month. Like, I would do it in an instant. Like, and I think most people would. If that's all it takes, yeah, who cares? Wear a dress one time, be a little embarrassed, but also make some people laugh. I think if the Illuminati is real, they would want a little more from you than that.
I'm telling you right now, something is not right about this eclipse. This is the path that it will take, and it will cross over with the eclipse that we had in 2017, making an X on the country. Now, right there in the crosshairs, right there, is a town called Maconda, Illinois. Let's talk about it. So this is a better look at the direct path of totality that the solar eclipse will take. Right there by Carbondale, where the X meets, is Maconda. Just as a fun fact for shiggles, this has never happened in the United States. We have never had two solar eclipse paths cross over on one town. So this is a pretty big fucking deal. Maconda really isn't that big of a deal. It has a population of like 500 people, and it's known as a hippie town in Illinois. Now, what I did find interesting is that there is a giant city-state park inside of Maconda. Are we waking up giants? Now, Maconda translated to South African means little ones. Are we the little ones and they're the big ones coming when the eclipse happens? Now, maybe I'm wilding out. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe there's nothing to this. But if I'm just wilding out and there is nothing to this, why have they already predicted a historical chance of cloud coverage on the day of the solar eclipse? Since when do they predict cloud coverage 2 months in advance? That shit's suspicious. The fact that this hasn't ever happened before is suspicious. The fact that there is a giant city-state park right outside Sewanee National Forest, which is known for Bigfoot sightings, is suspicious. So are the clouds a attempt to hide the eclipse from us so that we don't see what happens in the shadows? Because let me remind you, this total solar eclipse will last for 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Bro, well, first of all, the reason they're predicting cloud coverage 2 months out is because of the eclipse, dummy. Yeah, no, of course they never talk about, oh, you know what the clouds are going to look like on June when there's totally normal day on June 6th or whatever, you know, pick a day. No, they know that the eclipse is coming, so they're talking about if you're going to be able to see it or not. Yeah, exactly. One comment says, when none of this happens, you'll move on to the next nutty theory. Exactly. All those predictions, all stuff like this, where people are like, oh, on this very specific day, this thing's going to happen. The open-ended ones are way better. You can get away with them for a lot longer, but this one's done in a month. So I'm going to guess that there's a place called Giant City around there also that she failed to mention. It would be my guess. So let's look into it. Giant City State Park. Well, that's weird. They do have a trail right there called Devil's Stand Table Nature Trail. But yeah, I'm going to guess that there's a giant city around here. I'm guessing that that's the name of something around here. All right, maybe I'm wrong. Hey, I looked into it. Couldn't find a place called Giant City. So that is kind of weird.
But wait! There's more!
But yeah, she seems, I guess we'll see. April 8th, maybe we'll have giants again. Maybe April 8th is the day of the reckoning. I'm gonna guess not. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be totally fine. But that is fun. April 8th, there's a solar eclipse. It's gonna be interesting. Don't stare at the sun. Just a quick tip. You can burn your corneas. I believe that's what it was, so don't do that. Yeah, I feel like we're not going to see it very well over here on the West Coast, but yeah, if you're on the East Coast or in the middle of the country, you're going to have a really cool eclipse April 8th. Less than a month away, so, you know, prepare yourself for giants, I guess. It's a good time, good time. There you have it, folks. That is another compilation of some of the wildest TikTok conspiracy theories I can find. Hey, Sunday, Conspiracy Theories 101, the brand new series we're going to drop. And we're going to talk about the history of the term and all that good stuff. And then moving forward, we're going to do some deep dives into other conspiracy theories. So yeah, join me on Sunday at 4:15 for that. I'm excited to share that with you guys. I'm working hard on that video. And yeah, I think you're going to like it. Do me a favor, drop a like, leave a comment, let me know which one of these was your favorite conspiracy theory, or if, you know, you have your own theories on any of these, let me know. And if you're not subscribed, hit that sub button. I go live sometimes now, so you don't want to miss that. You never know when I'm going to drop a video, unless you got my schedule memorized, which I don't even really have it memorized. I do. But other than that, I'll see you Sunday. Don't forget to join me every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday if you're a member of the channel. Merch shop is live. We got beanies. We got these. We got tie-dye beanies. We got dad hats. We got sweaters. We got hoodies. We got it all. If you want anything specific in there, let me know. I'll try to get it in there. Somebody did ask me one time for a jumpsuit. That wasn't an option. I'm sorry. But, you know, anything else you want. Somebody once asked me for a mug. I put mugs in there. She bought one the next day. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, but I'm here to make you guys happy. So if you guys want anything or you want to see me cover anything in particular, let me know and I'll try to get to it. And until next time, seek the truth.